so we'll talk later.
Hello there. Do you like a good story? Who doesn't? The secret of a good story is, do we believe it, you and me? So who's going to tell it? A quarterback that was the very last man drafted, or one that was the very first? A coach who's a brainy mathematician, or a muscle man who wants to see some kneecap fighting out there today? Buy some kneecaps! You still with me? So who's going to save the day?
49ers headed back to the NFC Championship for the San Francisco.
I am loving this story. But how's it going to end? Is it going to be Tony Bennett's City by the Bay? Or the silk stepping of Motown? Who are you going to call? Detroit, Michigan? San Francisco, California? The NFC Championship starts now on FOX. Fox.
Hey, Bill Murray always brings it, much like these guys have all season long. And now a win by the Niners would not only get them back to the Super Bowl, it would also make Brock Purdy the youngest quarterback to win an NFC Championship game. Meanwhile, a victory by Detroit would get them into the Super Bowl for the first time ever. The hopes of their loyal and long-suffering fan base riding on Jared Goff, who can end the drought by letting them pop champagne. History is on the line as the Detroit Lions come to the Bay Area to face the San Francisco 49ers. The winner takes the NFC Championship and moves on to Super Bowl 58. So why don't we get things rolling with the one and only Fox NFL Sunday pregame show presented by GMC and the truck, the GMC Sierra. We are less than 30 minutes from kickoff in a wild atmosphere here in Santa Clara, California. For the fans in attendance, it's the most expensive NFC Championship game in history, but you get it all for free right there at home on your TV. So come on out here and stay a while, folks. I'm Kurt Menefee. Thank you so much for joining us, and a special thanks to the great Bill Murray. His new movie, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, will be in theaters on March 22nd. The trailer drops tomorrow. This is the culmination of our 30th season here on Fox, usually right here for all 30 years, Terry Bradshaw. But TB is a little under the weather right now, so he's going to have the evening off. The rest of the guys are still here. Amen to that, brother. We love you. Howie Long, Rob Gronkowski, Michael Strahan, and Jimmy Johnson. Happy NFC Championship Sunday.
Happy NFC Championship Sunday. And in honor of TB, somebody needs to take over the farm jokes.
Are you going to start it?
Nope, not me.
All right, we will talk much more about actual football coming into this game, though. Tonight's NFC Championship game. We do know that San Francisco's Mr. Everything, Deebo Samuel, has been cleared to play with that injured left shoulder. Now, that's big news because look at the difference when he's in the lineup versus when he's not. The Niners didn't win a single game without him during the regular season, and their offensive numbers dropped dramatically. So as we bring in Jay Glazer, courtesy of Geico. Jay, look, we know Deebo's going to play, but what's the game plan for him?
Okay, well, let me give you a little background on what the shoulder injury is. He actually fractured the clavicle all the way back in October. When he injured it last week, in last week's game, they scanned it, they did an MRI. He did not refracture it. However, it aggravated enough where his shoulder just didn't work. There was pain, shoulder, arm didn't work. He made huge improvement all the way on throughout the rest of this week. Today, he says he feels fantastic. The big thing is they're very optimistic that he can play throughout the game. However, they still need to see what happens when he takes one of those hits early on. Again, totally different offense when he's not in, but they think that he'll be fine.
Michael, is it as easy to say as he's the key to the offense?
Yeah, I think you say that. I mean, they have so many weapons on this team. McCaffrey, we know, is incredible. The tight end position, Kittle, Ayuk. But this guy right here, when he's not in the game, it's obvious. They lose. They scored 13 points less a game. He is the leader in the league, yards after catch, Kurt. So all you do, put the ball in his hands, he's the automatic first down machine, and he is the safety net for a young quarterback. So Deebo Samuel, he has earned more yards after the catch than anybody else in the league, and Detroit Lions have given up more yards to receivers than any other team in the league. He could be the big difference in the game today.
If this were a regular season game, he probably wouldn't play. But Gronk, this is a championship contest.
This is championship football. You may only have one chance to vie for a Super Bowl. You are playing for your legacy, and this is history. If you're banged up, if you're injured a little bit, your mindset going into this game is that you are healthy and you're going to play at full speed. 8. If it was week 8, maybe you won't play because it may derail you and miss a couple other games in the regular season. But it's championship football, so you're playing. Hey, and let me tell you from experience, it's well worth it, even if you're limping at the age of 50.
I wasn't limping at 50.
Hey, Grunk's all fired up. He's ready to play, it looks like. We're ready to bring you more as we continue getting you set for the NFC title game here on Fox.
The big game in the Bay Area is right around the corner. 49er faithful have seen this script before. We'll find out how they're feeling about today's game. And Dan Campbell has Detroit destined for their first Super Bowl appearance. Our champion, Michael Strahan, chats with the coach of the Lions. Kickoff is coming up right here on Fox.
Who do you think you are? I said, the boys are back in town. 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 The boys are back in town.
Hey, nothing but football history around this stadium today. No doubt that the Lions and Niners each have a rich tradition. Even San Francisco has actually had more success with an NFC record 5 Super Bowl titles. Now the Niners are in their 3rd straight NFC Championship game, 4th in the last 5 years. That's the good news. But as we bring in Aaron Andrews, they haven't won a Super Bowl since the mid-90s, EA. First of all, it's great to see you in person.
Great to see you guys, too. So cool. Everybody just here on the sidelines seeing Michael and Barry Sanders together. Really awesome. So you mentioned it. That's the last Niners Super Bowl title, January 1995, almost 30 years ago. For the Niners faithful, you can feel this. The fan base, they have recently grown very anxious for this team to finally finish the job. They hope it's true that good things really do come to those who wait.
We're just coming down trying to get the 49ers to sign some autographs right before the big game.
We're looking for some good ones. Ayuk, Caffrey.
I want to see Kittle.
Debo. Can you sign? Can you sign?
Is it hard to get an autograph? Absolutely. Debo Samuel.
We've been waiting for a while.
You invest a lot of time, you get your family involved.
You're not always going to get something.
Take a lot of patience. I've been waiting, well, the last time they won a Super Bowl 30 years, I've been waiting.
We've had so many contenders.
2013, we lost to Ravens.
19 against Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City! The last 2 times we got so close.
Brock Purdy has been taken out of the game.
It's time to go out and win it and prove to everyone that the patience hasn't been for nothing.
Hopefully this is the year.
It has to be now.
This could be better than the Montana team. This could be the greatest team ever this year.
A lot's at stake. A Super Bowl ring. That's what we're all playing for.
Finger crossed. Hopefully this is our year.
Just give me the 1 Super Bowl.
Debo Samuel.
Oh, those fans, Jimmy Johnson, are hoping that this is the year, is it?
Kurt, I think the 49ers have more outstanding players at more positions than anybody in the playoffs. But the key to their success is going to be Brock Purdy. Now, people have been skeptical about Purdy because he wasn't a high draft pick. But he led the NFL in quarterback rating. On top of that, you look at his games, he was inconsistent a week ago with a wet ball, and then he had a couple of tipped interceptions against Baltimore. But other than that, he has put up numbers comparable to the great Joe Montana and Steve Young. If Purdy plays well, they can win it all.
Yeah, I mean, Purdy, yeah, he really had to play well. We talked about Debo Samuel earlier. Another guy really helped him and kind of bailed him out last week was Christian McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey put the ball in his hands. He scored touchdowns, 23 touchdowns this year, including playoffs. He tied the great Jared Rice, who we saw here on the sideline, all fired up as well for this game. But Christian McCaffrey, one of the few guys who's not a quarterback, you can say legitimately could be the offensive player of the year, could be the MVP of this league. And this team has so many weapons, and that's going to be the challenge for the Detroit Lions. How do you stop them? But tell you what, crunch time, Christian McCaffrey showed last week, put the ball in his hands. He's a vet. He wants it. He knows how to get it done.
And what about Greg Kittle? He blocks in the run game, defensive backs or defensive end, depending on the play call. Every time his number is called in the pass game, he steps up and makes the plays when they are needed most. And on top of it, he opens up the play action, and he is their best receiving red red zone weapon on the offensive side of the ball. And guess what? He is by far one of the greatest teammates in the NFL. He has an infectious personality where teammates love to be around him, and he was first-team All-Pro this year, voted as the best tight end. And let me tell you, he's a consistent player. He will show up today. Put your money on him.
You know, I think for them, San Francisco's been knocking on the door. We know that for a championship. For them to get there, get to the Super Bowl, win that Super Bowl, I think today's matchup for this defense versus San Francisco versus Detroit's offense. Last week, they really struggled versus the run. Got gashed in the run game. This week, they're going to see a boatload of Montgomery. They're going to see a boatload of Gibbs, who's kind of Detroit's version of Christian McCaffrey, and the play-action pass. If San Francisco's defense can keep this offense out of 2nd and 2s, 3rd and 2, get them in long yardage situations, they can win the football game. There's a talented defense, but they've been up and down this year, and they got gashed last week versus the run.
All right, we talked a little bit about the Niners. When we come back, we will cover the Detroit Lions. And if you are sitting at home, you're thinking Amon-Ra St. Brown will have the most receiving yards tonight, pick him on the free Fox Super 6 contest. You can win up to $10,000 in cash and prizes. Well, Jimmy talked about Brock Purdy. The weather is perfect, 69 degrees right now and sunny as he says hi to mom and dad. But right now, as we go to break, it's time to meet a custom cleat artist who produces designs for some of the biggest names in the game, brought to you by Intuit QuickBooks.
Custom cleat artist Jada Henderson grew up with football in the family, and when she combined that with her love of painting, the foundation of her dream found traction. With QuickBooks, Jada can skillfully tackle her money management all in one place while creating touchdown-worthy cleat designs for her clients. That's because Jada has a business bank account with QuickBooks Money, where she earns 5% APY, a real game changer for her business. QuickBooks makes Jada's money work as hard as she does. That's how she does business differently. Intuit QuickBooks.
Okay, we're in the NFC Championship. Nothing to celebrate just yet.
If we lose, I hate to say it, but we might have to move on from Kyle Shanahan.
We named our daughter Dan Campbell.
Hey, check it out. It's my NFC Championship Memories collage.
Hey, check out my NFC Championship Memories collage. I took it this morning.
If we lose today, this will be the worst day of my life.
If we lose today, this is still gonna be the best day of my life. Don't forget today's date. Ow, 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 ow.
Hey, the mood a little bit different in the two towns, I'll tell you. But maybe they'll be celebrating tonight in Detroit at the biggest watch party in the city. Look at this. This is their home stadium. Wow. Die-hard Lion fans pay $20 a piece just to watch the game together on the big screen. It's sold out every available ticket in less than 5 hours. They are pumped. But it's just another example of how this city is rallying around its football team and head coach Dan Campbell, who truly embodies the blue-collar toughness of the city of Detroit. And Michael, you know that firsthand because you got to see him on a daily basis when you two were teammates with the Giants.
Yeah, and I got to say, I didn't like it very much, Kurt, because he was a tough guy. And, you know, I've known Dan Campbell since 1999. What's that, 24 years? And we've all seen his introductory press conference. He talked about biting the opposition kneecaps. I wasn't surprised, but I tell you what, that is just Dan. He's built a team now that's just as tough as he is, and they're a perfect representation for the Motor City.
Ha, 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 ha. What's up, man? How are you? I'm good. Good to see you. You too. Been a long time. It's been too long.
Pressure lets it go to the end zone. Dan Campbell, touchdown. The Giants cash in.
Of all things to do right now, you're over here talking to an old teammate before the biggest coaching game of your career, man. It was never a day off with you. Every day in practice was, okay, I got to get ready because Dan's going to bring it. And now I'm watching you coach, and you coach the same way, and your team have this identity. They're you. Do you feel that?
I feel that, you know. I think that's the type of team that I always wanted. Look, you got to have talent to play in this league, but, man, we wanted guys that were cut from the right cloth. Man, they love football.
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. I just need you to trust me, that's all. Please.
This has been a process through 3 years, and now we're really ready to make some waves and compete. I mean, there'll be a time to turn around and look back and say, what did we do? But here's the hard thing about this, right? As much as we've done right now, we don't win this game. That's a sick feeling.
Yeah.
Because we've gotten this far.
Let's go. The unique thing that I've noticed about you, you trust them. You want them there. You wouldn't trade any of them for anyone else.
It's big to me. It means a lot, you know? Anybody who's played professional sports, man, you just want to feel wanted, and you want to feel like this guy believes in me, right? And I do, and if I'm going to believe in you, I'm all in. And I'll run through the gates of hell for you as much as I can, because that means something to me about this game. So when it's crunch time, they're going to be called upon to do what they've done for 3 seasons now, all right? It's to cut it loose and go play. You're built for this. Do you know how hard it is to win this league in the playoffs? Do you understand what you're doing right now? What we're capable of? That's 2, all right? That's 2. We got 2 to go. With a bye in the middle.
The country's looking at you right now, Dan, going, I want to play for that guy. First division title in over 30 years for the Lions. And the first playoff wins in 32 years. For everybody that hasn't been in Detroit for these last few weeks, what is it like there now?
It's crazy. It's electric, man. The city is humming. They're loving it. That's what this was about. I told the players, Detroit, 30 years? We got a chance to do something special that you can't do at every team or with every team. Yeah. We get to write our name, man, in history, and this is just the beginning.
You're creating your own history.
That's right.
Gonna be more proud of you.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
And I don't miss going against you in practice.
I don't miss going against you.
I'm so happy. Are you kidding me? Hey, do your thing, man. I'm proud of you. Good luck. Yeah, it was great to catch up with Dan, you guys. He said 3 years ago when ownership brought him in, they took a chance on him. And it has paid off in spades for them. They go out, Matthew Stafford gets traded. They bring in Jared Goff. They took a chance on Jared Goff as much as they've taken a chance on Dan Campbell. And in both instances, it has paid off. You look at Jared Goff. Here's a guy, I'll just cast out of L.A. Went to the Super Bowl, that wasn't good enough. He goes to the Detroit Lions, and everyone thinks, oh, he's just kind of going to have one of those careers, first overall pick, never really going to do it. This guy has to be mentally one of the strongest guys who's played in this league to just hang in there, stick with it, have the confidence to continue to get better and improve on a team that was 0-10-1 before they won their first game under Dan Campbell. And look at them now in the NFC Championship game with a legitimate shot to win. This guy is a leader of this team. This guy can make the big plays. And I have a feeling that Detroit, I know for a fact, Detroit Lions are not here and he's happy to be here. They're here to advance to the next game, which is the Super Bowl, which is the only thing they need.
And that was what was one of the things I found interesting in the interview there. Dan Campbell said how we're going to be disappointed if we lose this game. They're not happy just to be here. I think a lot of people thought they were coming in here playing with house money.
Yeah, and I think you could certainly make that case, but I think he referenced a 3-year plan, and I think they're obviously a year ahead, and they're much further along, I would say, on offense. You know, Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Williams, the kid they brought along. Gibbs is a dynamic player. They acquired Montgomery. Defensively, I would essentially think they're going to be very aggressive in this game, thinking that we are playing with house money. We're maybe a year early, but defensively they're going to have to be selectively aggressive because San Francisco has so many weapons. They struggle on the back end. They like to bring pressure, but I think you have to be selective when they bring the pressure, Jim.
You better tackle.
Yeah.
Tackle well.
Well, talking about weapons, Jared Goff has some serious weapons in St. Brown and deep threat Jamison Williams. But it's tight end Sam Laporta who is Goff's go-to guy and security blanket when it matters most. And Sam Laporta put up serious numbers this year, and he was just a rookie, and he garnered All-Pro, second-team All-Pro, that is, as a rookie, which is unbelievable. And last week, Goff looked at Laporta in more key situations than any other player on the field with the Detroit Lions. So I may be a little biased, but expect both tight ends on each side of the ball, George Kittle and Sam Laporta, to be key difference makers today.
A little biased?
Yeah, a little biased.
What's a little?
Actually, I'm really biased. Tight ends are revolutionizing the game to this day.
Let's calm down now. Let's calm down.
Hey, Howie, you talked about if they're going to be successful, they got to put some pressure on Brock Purdy. Well, they can put pressure with Aiden Hutchinson. Now, when we were in Dallas, we were trying to get over the hump. We traded for Charles Haley, and he took us to Super Bowls. That was the difference in our football team. We needed that pressure. Aiden Hutchinson, he can make that same impact. You look at him, he has pressured the passer more than anybody in the league. Michael, he's relentless, just like what you were back in your day.
Yeah, well, you know, Jimmy, thank you for the compliment, but you still didn't draft me when you said you were going to. So it's too late now. But, you know, but with Aiden Hutchinson, it's going to be interesting to see the matchup that he creates because, you know, these guys for the 49ers offensive line, they're used to going against guys who kind of play like Hutchinson. Herky-jerky, strong, in, out, spin moves. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can contain it.
I think Dan Campbell's the perfect coach for this city, this football team, and I think Aiden Hutchinson was the perfect first-round pick to start with.
Yeah, Hutchinson's going to get some help today because they're going to have James Houston on the other side. Now, he was an outstanding rusher a year ago. He got injured. He's only been out there, you know, active for one game, but he's going to be on the other side. They won't be able to double both sides.
Hey, I want to ask you one quick question, Howie. The Lions are one win away from going to their first Super Bowl. The 2 wins they've had in this playoff were both at home. This is the first time they've got to be on the road, tough atmosphere. Kyle Shanahan's 5-0 at home as a playoff coach. How difficult is this situation for them?
You know, we saw this team down in Dallas when Jimmy went into the Ring of Honor. You couldn't be at a bigger circus than there was down in Dallas. Bert's a very good football team, and they were this close to winning that football game. They didn't seem overwhelmed. I don't think they'll be overwhelmed today.
All right, before we get to your official picks, why don't we build a same-game parlay with the help of FanDuel and some prop bets? Jimmy, pick one and only one. Jared Goff throws 2 or more touchdowns, or Brock Purdy throws for 300 yards or more.
I think Brock Purdy gets back on track. He throws for over 300.
Howie, Jahmyr Gibbs scores a touchdown, or Christian McCaffrey rushes for over 100 yards.
I'm going to go with Gibbs for a touchdown.
Gronk, Sam Laporta scores a touchdown, or George Kittle scores a touchdown.
I'm going with George Kittle scoring a touchdown. He wasn't an all-pro for no reason.
Another tight end.
Well, I only had a choice between 2 tight ends.
Folks, a $5 bet on this FanDuel same-game parlay would win you more than $43. All right, before we get to the picks for today, we want to talk about the AFC title game. It's already wrapped up. The Kansas City Chiefs went into Baltimore, and they were not taking anything. This is pregame warm-ups. I think Travis Kelce had other ideas than Justin Tucker did. Things got chippy before the game started. Then Mahomes and the Chiefs marched down the field. First drive, touchdown to Travis Kelce. Kelce over 100 yards, and that score, the Chiefs win 17-10. They're back in the Super Bowl for the 4th time, Jimmy, in the last 5 years.
Yeah, Kurt, you look at this football game and you look at these teams. You got the great Andy Reid. You got the great Patrick Mahomes. You got the great Travis Kelce. But the difference in this ball game, in my opinion, was the Kansas City defense. They were outstanding. Spags got them going now.
Yeah, Dick Spagnuolo, incredible defensive coordinator. And they won it last year with a very young secondary. Now they're one of the best secondaries in the league. I mean, he's done an incredible job with the personnel there.
So we know the AFC representative. It's time to find out who's going to be the winner of the NFC. Who wins this game and goes to the Super Bowl? We'll start with you, Howie.
Well, I'm going to go San Francisco, and they probably breathe a sigh of relief watching that Kansas City-Baltimore game.
I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers as well. They got too much firepower and too many weapons on the offensive side of the ball to lose this game.
I think San Francisco's the better team, but hell, I'd talk to Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Come on, Lions, let's go, baby.
Hey, now Michael, my heart's with Detroit.
One heart.
And Dan Campbell, I love that. I could have played for Dan Campbell. I love Dan Campbell.
But
I think the 49ers are a better football team, and they're at home. I picked the 49ers.
All right,
boy, that was a lot of crawfish down there.
Huh?
You want to make sure he's like wherever he goes. There's Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions trying to do something that no other Lions team has ever done. It's the San Francisco 49ers trying to get back to the Super Bowl right here. And Jimmy, I will ask you right now, what do you think is going through the minds of those Lions emotionally coming out of that tunnel?
They're thinking about, hey, we can win this game. We can make it to the Super Bowl. We haven't been there before, but we're going to the Super Bowl. That's what's in their mind right now.
Yeah, do not be denied. You got to understand, when you come out here, you have all these crazy fans. They can't do anything. Once they kick it off, it's just football. Play the way that got you here.
The moment before the moment of impact.
Hey, a great moment coming your way. Up next, it's the kickoff of the NFC Championship game. The Lions and the Niners, the winner goes on to the Super Bowl.